Hello, my name is Jackie Edwards, Jacqueline on Facebook. But my May is High Blood Pressure Month, and in honor of High Blood Pressure Month, and one of my things that I do try to focus on is high blood pressure. And so I created a Facebook group that was entitled High Blood Pressure Awareness Saves Lives. And a number of people suffer from high blood pressure, and many people die from this disease every year. Um, I am one of those people that suffer from high blood pressure. Um, I would like to just take a moment and share my story about how I battled with high blood pressure and how I still do a little bit today. I've had high blood pressure for the last 15 years or so. I was taking medicines on a regular basis, but my blood pressure was not regulated. Um, and about 2 years ago, I guess it was, I went to the dentist to have my teeth cleaned. The nurse was trying to take my blood pressure, and she was using the blood pressure monitor, and she was just moving it back and forth, and then she put that one down, and she went and got another blood pressure monitor. And so I was joking with her. I say, "What's wrong? You don't know how to use the blood pressure monitor?" And she said, "No, I've never seen anybody that has a blood pressure as high as yours." And so I asked her, I said, "Well, what was my blood pressure?" And she said it was 233 over 177. And so that shocked me because I know that that is extremely high. But then she started asking me a number of questions. She said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "Well, I feel fine." And I actually did. I felt really well. I didn't have any issues. And then she said, "How's your head? Do you have a headache?" And I said, "No, I haven't been having headaches." And she asked me about being dizzy. And I said, "No, I haven't been being dizzy." And she asked me about chest pains. I have not been having chest pains. So I have not had anything to happen to let me know that my blood pressure was high, which is one reason they call it a silent killer, because my blood pressure was extremely high, and I did not know it was high. I was clueless. Needless to say, I didn't get my teeth cleaned because she wouldn't do anything with my blood pressure that high. But I went to my doctor, and he gave me some medicines that made my blood pressure come down immediately. And I had to sit, and he had to monitor me and make sure that my blood pressure came down. So after that, taking those medicines, I ended up taking about probably a total of 6 medicines. But still, those medicines were not helping me. I was still having to go to the doctor regularly to have my blood pressure checked. And things just were not turning around for me. But a lady at my church, she recommended that I go to her doctor, and he accepted me, which was great because it was at a time when many doctors were not accepting new patients. But he accepted me, and one of the things that he did initially is that he did some blood work. I had just had blood work with my previous doctor, but he wouldn't accept that blood work. He made me do some very, very extensive blood work. And in the meantime, I was having to go and see the heart doctor. I had to see the kidney doctor. I had to see the eye doctor. I had to go and see a sleep doctor for sleep apnea. Um, I had to have a brain scan. I had to have a number of things done to make sure my body was okay from having blood pressure that high. And just by the grace of God, everything turned out great. I did not have any damage to any of my vital organs. But I had to start tracking my blood pressure every day, 2 times a day. In the morning, I had to track it. In the evening, I had to track it. And I needed to track it the same time every day. And this was a little bit cumbersome to me because I worked full time. And some mornings I'd get up and I'd forget, oh, I got to check my blood pressure. But I had all these blood pressure monitors. For example, I had this blood pressure monitor. And this one is pretty good, but you have to make sure you squeeze this little thing here. Squeeze it and make it come out to 200. Make this register 200 by squeezing this thing right here. Just squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it till it come to 200. Otherwise, your blood pressure might not capture your true blood pressure. And you're not supposed to move while you're doing all of this. So that was a little bit painful. And then I also had this blood pressure monitor. And this one, also you can see how it has the numbers. This one was a little easier to use because you put the cuff on and you just had to make sure you put it on correctly. And it would monitor your blood pressure. But if your batteries run down or anything like that, then your blood pressure might not be captured correctly. I also had a cuff blood pressure monitor, and it did not fit my wrist well, and it would just move around. So I knew it was not doing me any good. So most of the time I ended up going to different places to get my blood pressure checked, like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart's, Publix, to use their blood pressure monitor, which is a pain because that means you have to actually go there, you have to get out the car, you have to go and sit down and get your blood pressure checked and come back. The people began to know me. They knew that's what I was coming there for. But that got a little old really quite fast. My doctor, he eventually ended up changing my blood pressure medicine, my new doctor, twice. And through those two changes, my blood pressure became much better. It actually got to 133/80, which is almost a good normal blood pressure. But my goal is to have it at 120/80. I recently saw an ad for a gadget. It's a wearable technology that allows me to monitor my blood pressure all the time. And I saw that and I said, I just got to have one because my blood pressure still is not at the best norm. I still need to monitor it. I still have to be really careful since it works for me so silently that my blood pressure can be up and I not even know it. So I purchased this monitor, and I'd just like to share it with you as well. So what I would like for you to do is just take a look in my pinned post and hit the link and see what has gotten me to a better position of monitoring my blood pressure on a regular basis and for me to really feel comfortable with the results. Thank you.